The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the host and guest and do not reflect the opinions or policies of the station, its owners, or its advertisers. All content should be considered editorial in nature. Listener discretion is advised. Well, everyone, good evening and welcome to the Carolina Cabinet. I'm Peter Pappas. I'll be your host this evening. We are proud to be the only homegrown conservative talk radio show in the region, and we know this is the smartest hour of radio. Our job is to give a voice to the conservatives of Fayetteville, Cumberland County, and beyond. This evening, we welcome host of the Cabinet, returning Pastor Joshua Goodman. Good to see you, sir.
Good evening, everybody. That's weird for me.
It is. We can say good evening
We can say good evening instead of good morning.
Yeah,
now.
We're live streaming, bro. So, welcoming my returning co-host, Mrs. Laura Mussler. Thank you for being here.
Good evening.
Always good. So, over in the corner in front of the flag, we have Miss Cynthia Hamilton running for Hope Mills Commissioner.
Good evening, everybody.
Welcome and good evening.
To be here.
And over to my left, your I don't know what's over, but Carol Ulrich here to talk about REITs across America. So give us just a moment. We're going to dive into our show. We appreciate you tuning in and spending time with us. Take a moment to like, share, or follow us on Facebook and look for us at thecarolinacabinet.com. You can find links to our shows and how to listen on your favorite podcast broadcaster. Don't go far. We'll be right back.
Since 2012, Joshua Goodman has been the senior pastor at the Cliffdale Christian Center, a dynamic church and ministry located in West Fayetteville. Join our friend Pastor Goodman for a podcast or a live sermon in person at 6427 Cliffdale Road. Now for today's good news. Here is Joshua Goodman.
Well, good morning from the All-American City. This is Pastor Josh, and have I got some good news for you. In a time when so many want to unpack, talk about, discuss all the negative junk, I'm here to give you some good news. Paul writes to the Romans in Romans 15:13, and he says, "Now may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace, believing that you may abound in hope by the Spirit or by the power of the Holy Spirit." You know, this talk today is about being hope-filled rather than being hopeless. And this is coming from an individual who just a couple of weeks ago was hopeless. Understand that hope is not founded or based on circumstance, situation. If we're going to truly hope, we have to hope in God. And if we're going to hope in God, we can hope in his characteristics and his promises. We can know this: God's promises are true. We can look throughout the New and Old Testament at his promises kept. Moses, Aaron, Joshua, David, the list literally goes on and on. That's number one. Number two, we need to embrace his goodness because he is a good God and he is a God of hope. The prophet Isaiah says, "But those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They will walk and will not faint." You know, there are a couple of principles when it comes to hope that I want to share with you. Number one, you need to know that hope is not whimsical, a fairy tale. No, hope is audacious. Hope is ferocious. Hope has an eager expectation and waiting. The word hope in Hebrew is the word quava, and it gives the indication of a watchman who is watching out for his city. It gives the idea of a sailor who is looking towards the horizon, hoping to see land. Hope is the expectation of what God is going to do in accordance with his promises in your life. Now, we all face challenges. We all face difficulties. We all face hardships. And maybe you are that person today and you are facing something that has brought you to a place of hopelessness. Well, if that is you today, then stop putting your hope in yourself or in the people around you, but begin to put your hope in God. Because if we really believe what we say we believe, then, my friend, there is hope. This is Pastor Josh, and that is your good news.
News, weather, sports, and common sense talk in the morning. Grab another cup of coffee and settle in for more of the Carolina Cabinet, Eastern North Carolina's sexiest conservative talk show.
For you, Zion.
How could I not on your re-inaugural visit back to the cabinet? It's so good to have you back in here this evening.
Great to be.
We have been stirring up quite the drama, and you've missed a lot. You know me, I'm awake. I'm already living rent free in people's heads.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I love that meme you got the other night.
Oh, I love it. I wait until they open the letter. But more about that later. The last week, we like to update what have you been up to. So I went to the Greater Fayetteville Chamber Oyster Roast, the Rock and Boil. Good music, good food. They even had producer Jim trying to eat chicken wings with his hands tied behind his back.
Oh, I love it.
How many did you get down, Jim? Six. He got 6.
I went last year, and it was the best time.
Absolutely.
The best time. I hate that I missed it this year.
Good people, good food, and
all the oysters you can eat too. What?
Oh yeah. Well, see, it's funny. Laura and I don't think we touched an oyster.
No.
Oh.
I'm not an oyster guy, but I made the ticket.
But I had the shrimp and I had the potatoes and
so my kids, when they eat oysters, they like slurp it down and they're like, got them.
I don't even like that sound.
Yeah, that's
it's like
sorry. True story. Need a bucket for Laura? Somebody?
It's funny because we're right next door to the oyster bar, but I never go there for oysters. I go for regular meal. But they had good barbecue.
Yeah.
The peel and eat shrimp. Now, am I a savage? Because none of them peeled very easily for me. I was
they
were, and then they had to be cleaned too because they were some.
I felt like I was changing diapers and not cracking shrimp open. So,
Yep,
all right. Well,
had I known, I would have brought my own cleaning tool. But,
I went. I had the pleasure of Laura, and we had other friends go with us, and had Jim and his wife. I went up to Jim's wife and I said, after he's like trying to eat chicken like a dog with his arms behind his back, I looked at his wife and I said, have you ever wondered where the hell you ended up in the United States? That I've got your husband over here trying to eat off a plate like a dog.
Like, so he ate 6?
He ate 6. Yeah, they were boneless chicken wings.
They were boneless.
Yeah, that confused me because they were talking about you got to get all the meat off the bone, and I'm like, how in the hell are they going to get the meat off the bone if they can't?
Yeah,
they got their arms tied. So
who won? Was it like a contest? Because I missed that part because I
did not know who the man that won. There was a guy from Segra. Yeah, see, I think that's a hometown advantage. Yeah.
He must have been practicing.
Yeah, he must have. So, Pastor Josh, what have you been up to the last?
Getting back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle.
Yeah, getting back in the saddle. Of course, I had a child of mine pass away 3 weeks ago, and that man just it was that 12:30 at night. Police come to the door, and world falls apart.
Well, Josh, we're friends. I love you. And I just don't know what to say.
Yep.
And I think. You know me. I got plenty to say usually, but I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, it has been the hardest event that me and my wife have ever had to walk through. But it's like I was sharing my good news.
You were hopeless. Now you're hopeful.
Yeah, I was. I this is the story of my life. Where I was empty of hope. Now I am once again full of hope. And that's because I got great family, great church, great friends like you guys, around me.
Yeah. Well, and I've definitely been thinking about you, but it's just one of those things like, what do
you can't,
there are no words, there isn't. And, but we were definitely thinking about you. So you're back in the saddle.
Yep.
Did you finally paint that damn board on the outside of did I drive by and see that board on the outside of the sanctuary?
The board? What board?
You guys replaced some wood on the Cliffdale side.
No, it's not. So it's got to go 6 months.
Oh, it's still got to go 6 months.
Got to go 6 months.
Waiting. Okay.
But you need to come back on campus because I got new signage around.
Okay.
And so give me a couple days to finish getting it put up.
I'll be looking.
You're gonna like it.
I'll be waiting for that.
Good stuff.
So, Laura, what have you been up to?
I got up at the crack of dawn on Saturday morning and did the walk for Alzheimer's.
Oh, I forgot.
Nice.
Yes. So I was on Diane Wheatley's team, so we did that. It seemed like a lot more than a mile.
Say that again. Say your name again.
Diane Wheatley.
Wheatley.
How are you supposed to say it?
Wheatley. I don't know. I've never
Diane-
heard the
Diane
yeah.
Wheatley.
Wheatley. Ms. Wheatley.
Wheatley.
And Diane, we love you if you're to see this, but and Laura's put a little extra flair into your name.
It's important and it's Wheatley.
Okay. So you went to the Alzheimer's walk, and what
I
else
did.
did you get into? I know there's some trouble you got into. It had to be. Really?
I've been a good girl.
Really?
I usually am. People just put
Okay.
stuff on me. There is some stuff in the background that I didn't even do, but that's
So
beside the point. It's
I'm
not
handing over
important.
to our other special guest here, Carol Ulrich.
Yes.
who,
She coordinates the Cumberland County branch of the Wreaths Across America, or she helps. It's an annual remembrance program that honors fallen veterans through ceremonial wreath placements at cemeteries throughout the country, including our own Sandhills State Veterans Cemetery and the Hope Mills Cemetery. And her leadership has ensured that every veteran's grave receives a wreath during the December event. Welcome.
Okay.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, the pressure's on because we are currently 3,000 wreaths short.
Whoa.
Oh, no. So what do we need to do to get some more wreaths?
Sell them $17 a piece.
Okay.
You can contact me. I'll leave you guys with my information. And I'll be happy to take your $17 check or your $340 check like I'm writing.
Well, and we have not purchased ours yet. We buy four a year for my son who passed away, veteran. So we will purchase ours this
Good.
week.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect. And we all go out there. Laura
Yes, we
was
do.
out there last year.
And it's cold.
I don't care if they tell you it's going to be 90 degrees outside. You dress like it's going to be 90 below because it will be. And we froze, but we put all the wreaths out.
We sure did.
And last year, I think we had 250, I think we had last year.
It was a beautiful ceremony. For nobody who's been out there, you don't have to buy a wreath to go to the ceremony. And
No.
it's absolutely beautiful. And it's solemn.
It's quite solemn. Now, I'm going to warn you, it starts at noon, but if you're smart, you'll get out there by 10 o'clock at the latest because parking is a nightmare.
Yeah.
But they do have shuttles.
They
So
do
if you
have
park
the
on the shuttle,
shuttles.
the
Yeah, the
shuttles
shuttles
will take you.
and the shuttles are nice and warm and get you right where you need to be. The wreaths are $17 a piece. This is the first time since 1992 that they've raised the price on
Oh,
them.
wow.
They've always been $15 a piece.
Mhm.
And so they're $17 a piece. And we put them on as many graves as we possibly can.
So when is this event?
December the 13th.
Okay.
So it is cold then.
Mhm.
Okay.
When do we have to have our $17? First, let's talk about the money part of it because we need that right away. Because that has to be done by when?
That has to be done by the 1st of December.
Because they have to order the
They
wreaths.
have to order the wreath. Yeah.
Okay.
And these gigantic trucks bring them in and they unload them and you grab and go.
Yep. And you go back and grab again and again
and go again.
And
and
again
again.
and again and again. But
And there's lots of kids running around out there. It's really cool.
Where does this take place?
Sandhills Veterans
In Spring Lake.
in Spring Lake.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So on December 13th, December 13th at the Sandhills in Spring Lake.
Yep. And all you have to do is show up. We'll find you and put you to work. It does not make a difference. Anne has been doing this as long as I have,
Wow.
if not longer. And I've been doing it since 2013.
Wow.
And
Wow, you're old. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, my Lord. Shots fired. Do
I'm
not
just
let her get
joking.
away with that, Miss Carol.
no.
That's only 12 years ago. I'm just joking.
72 years old, and I'm still
That's good. Yeah.
kicking butt and taking names,
That's
so
what I'm
I'm not
saying.
worried. And but there are two events that are most important to me: Wreaths Across America and the Purple Heart Dinner. And those my life is focused on. And so anybody want to write me a check? I'm sitting right here.
Come on now.
And I have to order checks. I looked in my checkbook. I do not have one.
I didn't know they still made checks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
You know what? I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'm going to let Carol handle some business. That's what it sounds like.
No, I'm just saying that nobody. I mean, I don't think I've seen anybody write a check in a very long time. I actually came across a box of checks, and I was like, I just need.
I have a whole printer dedicated to printing checks.
You're a business owner. I'm talking about individuals.
I write maybe 2 checks.
But what happens if, like me, I don't have checks? So what happens if how can somebody donate or buy wreaths or whatever if they don't have a
cash.
check? Okay. Is there any place online at all?
No.
Okay.
The reason for that is because the amount this is done across the United States, and it will literally crash the system.
Okay.
All right. I will be more than happy to pick your money up.
Okay.
I will be more than happy to, if you would like to come to our club meeting on the 11th.
What club is that?
Fayetteville Republican Women's Club.
Okay.
And as far as I know, we are the only group doing it this year.
Okay. And that's at 7:00 on November 11th at Logan's.
Logan's.
We would like to invite everybody to come.
Everyone.
And if they can't come that day, do you have an email? Do you have? How can somebody get a hold of you if they don't know you, Carol?
Let me give you my cell phone number. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
You're adventurous.
I am very adventurous.
Go ahead. I'll put it on screen.
Okay. It's 910-580-1840.
Okay. So they can send you a text and say, I want to donate. I want to go out and show up or whatever.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Now you got to remember, I used to repossess cars, so it doesn't bother me at all.
All right. Yeah, I'm scared of her.
I think
so,
Miss Carol will be packing is what she's trying to tell you. You better come correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So come out, spend some time with us.
And dress warm.
Dress warm. You will never forget the time that you have.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, thank you so very much for
You're
coming, Carol. I
welcome.
appreciate it. And we will be at November 11th. We'll be at Logan's for the Fayetteville Republican Women's Club. I will see you there.
I will see you there with bells on.
Well, I hope you have more than just bells.
Oh, my Lord. Wait a minute. Side hustles
we get out of the studio and you guys start going crazy.
Miss Carol, thank you so much for
You're
being here this
welcome.
evening. It's been a lot of fun, and I hopefully you will return.
Of course I will.
Okay,
I'll
all
come
right.
back
I mean,
anytime.
I'm going to be watching my 6, though, because,
Don't scare me.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you so much
Peter.
for being here this
Thanks,
evening.
Laura. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It's good to see you. All right.
Okay,
So-
that was quick.
I told you. Everybody's scared to come on the cabinet. It's like,
No,
look,
we're nice.
We're nice here. Generally, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, not all of us.
I mean, look,
Yeah,
all right.
well,
Well,
that's
Y'all
true.
aren't quite so nice, but
yeah. Well, I mean, it's an acquired taste.
If you're nice to us,
Say.
we're nice to you.
Yes, exactly. So,
and I'm nice to just about everybody.
Yeah.
yes, she is.
Yep.
I agree. I was excited to have you.
Yep.
Have a good
Every
evening.
night.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so we got 2 or 3 things to talk about this evening. We got national political climate. This is folks, week 4 of the federal government shutdown is
Yep.
counting. We're on day 25, and there's no spending agreement in sight.
Families are feeling it too. Furloughed workers, delayed paychecks, and uncertainty about basic services. It's not just DC, it's right here at home.
Absolutely right. I mean, look, military families, veterans, contractors. Cumberland County has thousands of people tied to these federal paychecks, and this is not some distant debate like in the Beltway. Not at all.
Nope. And questions everyone are asking is how long does this drag on before Congress actually does that job? Because they're certainly getting paid, but prediction markets say that this could stretch all the way into mid-November.
So, look, at what point is our leadership going to stop screwing around playing the blame game and start leading? I mean, I don't care if it's red, blue, or purple. I mean, we got to put Americans before politics.
You said it, Peter. It's one thing to talk about fiscal discipline. It's another thing to grind the entire system to a halt in the name of politics.
Yeah.
And I should have researched this before the show, but did anybody catch the, unfortunately, Democratic congressperson that said, this is the chip we want, the American people over a barrel? They're proud of it. I mean,
but this to me, for the first time since I've been watching Val Applewhite, I'm going to plug her name.
Wait, did I? I think I mentioned her later.
Did you?
Save her for another.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was shocked too.
I almost fell out of my chair.
I think somebody's campaigning for re-election already.
100%.
So yeah, let's see. The shutdown began October 1st. It's week 4.
Yep.
Now I
have people in my church who have been affected.
Right.
They're not getting paid.
So, this happens before. To me, the government shutdown is pretty routine at this point. It's part of American politics.
Yeah.
But I think it goes to show something deeper: financial management, planning. We have people getting well paid.
Oh.
Now, I'm not talking about the privates out there. I'm talking about GS jobs.
Yeah.
They're making, $75,000, $80,000 plus, yet they are maxed out.
Yep.
And 1 or 2 weeks, how many thousand pounds of food are you going to give away next month?
Oh,
Pastor
yeah,
Josh?
it's crazy because I'm set to meet with them I think within the next couple of days, and from what we're looking at, I don't know.
Are you going to have
I'm
enough?
speechless.
Okay.
No,
And it's the holidays too, where people and
Yeah.
families are getting together and
Well,
everything else.
I think I saw a statistic. November is the largest grocery month of the whole year because Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up.
and no food stamps come the first.
Yep. We do so much during this time of year. I mean, we put together holiday baskets with turkeys and dressing and potatoes and all of that. And I'm not sure. I'll give
you'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I'll give huge kudos to Cape Fear because they last year donated like 100 turkeys or something for us to.
You remember last year? I think it was last year, maybe a year before now. My God.
Yeah, it goes quick.
Operation Turkey Drop.
Yeah,
was that last year?
It
was those guys on
the one that they ripped everybody off.
Oh,
or didn't show up.
Spill the tea.
I think that was like 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, because
we had them on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they were scheduled to do it at my church.
Oh,
did they show up?
No.
That's exactly right. They didn't show up anywhere.
Well, maybe we won't talk about we'll just drop the turkey at that point. So let's talk about the other thing, kind of making everybody lose their absolute mind.
It's hilarious.
Let's pivot a little different. So the new ballroom being added to the White House East Wing. A lot of folks are rolling their eyes when they heard $250 million ballroom. But let's look at the whole picture here.
Exactly.
Okay?
This project is not taxpayer funded. It's privately financed.
Say that again for the ones in the back.
It's not taxpayer funded, unlike another president that made a basketball court. Donors and supporters are footing the bill, not the public.
Yep.
And they're saying it'll serve as a permanent event and ceremonial space for future administrations.
Well, I mean, it's crazy for me, right? Because you step back and look at it, and presidents have. I mean, they've always done this kind of thing, whether it's with gardens or libraries, additions. And I mean, really, you got to step back for a second and take a look at our nation. Don't we want to properly represent? And I mean, yeah, it's
evolution a little bit. I mean, look, a ballroom, it showcases American craftsmanship, hosts state events, and actually pays for itself through private contributions. I mean, it's a win-win for us. I mean, so people are upset that the thing's being built in lieu of, where's our food stamps? But
they're not the same.
They're not the same.
But if you consider the positive impacts on jobs, construction trades, this is American labor, and it's our design on display.
It's funny too because this is not just a home, right? This is not just where the president lives. This is a national monument. It is every American's house.
That's right.
And so it's one of those things that. It's more than just about the building. It's about our history.
Well, and I have a very liberal friend that sends me. She just fires off a lot of videos in Facebook Messenger, right? And I can't possibly watch everything, but usually all the videos have a clip or a thumbnail of Donald Trump in his mid growl phase. But I told her I'm very excited for the ballroom because I've already reached out to my family in DC and said, hey, give me some tickets when it opens up. But, we got to give credit where it's due. I mean, you're creating something that's enduring. It's privately funded. It's future focused.
And if you think about it, when the dignitaries come from all around the world, you know what they were doing before? They were going under a tent.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's patriotic. It's American. Like I said, it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
It's
right.
like,
even
this
on,
should not be a debate.
Even on The Office, the little short blonde, she didn't want to get married in a tent.
Right.
You remember that? I mean, so, I mean, that's kind of insulting to a foreign dignitary. I mean, but
I think so too. I think this is fantastic.
And I guess I'd assume that there had always been a ballroom.
Yeah.
I thought so too. But I'd like to see a Trump Tower built on the end of it.
So I think the consensus is, look, it's a living museum. It's not just a house. It belongs to all of us.
I thought the People's House was the Congress building anyway.
Whenever I hear People's House or whatever, I think communist China. I'm sorry when I hear the People's this or that. I'm thinking, yes,
the People's Republic.
Maybe I watched that Chernobyl series again from HBO, and it's like, yes, comrade, no comrade. The Soviets had it going on now anyway. So let's pivot to SNAP a little bit, and let's food benefits. I mean, the shutdown's making things tough. I mean, but this moment, it reveals something deeper. It's what I mentioned earlier, how we depend on government.
Yeah. The USDA says roughly 42 million Americans depend on SNAP. And if Congress doesn't act soon, November benefits might just not go out.
Happy holidays, right? It's like, come on, it's painful. It's a wake-up call. SNAP was never meant to be fully, replace someone's grocery bill. But can I tell you, it helps out. I mean, we can't feed every meal to everybody, but we can help kind of bridge that gap.
Isn't the answer in the name? Supplemental nutrition? So, our own Democratic senator, and this is where I said, let's hold it. So Senator Val Applewhite, said it better than anyone. Here's what she posted. And I got to admit, I mean, she's either really kowtowing to some Republicans or she's running for re-election.
You know what I found funny is all the remarks underneath it, because she said it as a Democrat. Everybody was supportive. But if somebody else were to say the exact same thing, we would be who knows what. But go ahead.
So the one that I took out, it's a really long excerpt, but basically we can no longer rely on the government to provide our basic needs like food, WIC, SNAP, and shelter, Section 8 public housing. So stop making excuses and make adjustments.
Yeah. The Bible even says that you can teach you to fish and you're fed for a life. That's exactly right. But
then James talks about faith without works is dead. We're all called to, I mean, throughout the Word of God. I could, again, give another good news, but I won't. It's one of those things where
I've been in arrears.
There's going to be a whole lot of good news tonight, but it's one of those things that the Bible's clear. If a man doesn't work, then he doesn't eat.
That's right.
God,
it's practical.
Yes, God created us to work. He didn't create us to be unproductive.
Right.
So
I feel like the environment these days, they look for reasons to not work as opposed to go to work. We need to start building stronger families, stronger individuals, not more dependency.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, look, it's good to have a safety net, but self-reliance, I mean, doesn't that matter anymore? The shutdown just proved what happens when the net becomes the only plan. I mean, and then you're right up against the fence. Somebody sent me a message on Facebook earlier. It was a video of somebody walking through these, I'm sorry, but liberal run S-holes that have homeless people defecating on the street and all this really awful stuff. And then it switched to like some monuments from World War II and stuff and said, do you think the men that left their wives and went to fight this war would have done it knowing this is what it would turn into? And I responded, absolutely they would. Because they believed in the fundamental of us as humans to not be losers.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, I will, because I'm always the,
Devil's
the other,
advocate.
There are people that, thank you. I've been accused of worse, whatever.
Look, tears on my staff. Did y'all notice this? Yeah. Right here.
There are people that do need assistance. Now, I started out on food stamps.
I said safety net.
Yep.
Yes,
it's okay.
I started out as I was a single mom. My husband, my first husband, liked my best friend better than he liked me.
Ooh.
In my own home. So I ended up being a single mom.
See this one.
Yeah. So I ended up a single mom with 3 children. I had just a high school education,
Yeah.
and I was on food stamps. I was on food stamps for a while, and my friend came to me, and it's funny because I started working in a restaurant business as a manager and a training manager, and I made less than $50 a year, too much to get any kind of assistance.
Yep.
I said, all I need is help with either babysitting or childcare or medical
if you
care.
could have just gotten that little bit of help.
That little bit of help. But they're like, nope, but you can quit your job and
make more
stay
money.
home
Well,
and make more money. And I was like, I'm not going to do that because there's no future in that. There's not my children would be the same. My mother was a welfare mom. I grew up in a welfare home. So it just perpetuates itself. And
My
it's
AP
not okay.
English teacher would really like to hear this, but let's compare and contrast Bill Clinton's welfare to work program in the 90s to what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Back then, it was 30 hours a week required to work, or you couldn't get benefits. And now that's been dropped to 20.
Yeah.
So, and you can even volunteer. I'm surprised nonprofits are not just
Blowing
clamoring
up.
at the
I
gates.
know,
Like,
no
look,
kidding.
come help us,
Yeah.
and we'll sign off on 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
And you can look. I hate that it's proffered like, if you don't, then you starve.
Yeah.
But it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
20 hours a week.
That's not that big of a deal.
4 hours a day.
I'll put it to you like this. So I have a favorite sub shop here in Fayetteville.
Yeah, you do, huh?
I do. And it's one thing for me to ask the owner of that sub shop to occasionally bring me an Italian sub, right? But it's another thing for me to expect that sub
every week.
Right. Because
you get to be expensive.
I get this.
It's cheaper
I would get
see,
to be very.
I believe it's cheaper to put clothes on your back than feed you.
Yeah,
Pastor Josh.
yeah,
See,
you're
that's what my
right.
father would say about us. Is
Yeah.
it's cheaper to feed you than or clothe you than feed you.
Oh,
But,
look at Jim.
But see, look, we're coming through.
Hey,
coming
wait a
through
minute.
in a clutch.
I'm not
So,
feeling the love. Wait a minute.
Look at
So
Jim.
Jim brought me lunch today, and I says, well, at least bring Pastor Josh
Yeah.
a whole Italian cut and
Woo!
force,
Yep.
just for you.
Love you, Jim.
None
No
for
love.
you, Laura.
No soup for you.
I thought that would be a welcome surprise
love
this
it.
evening. So
Yes. Thank you, Jim.
And I didn't
Thank you,
want to
Peter.
guilt you into like if you couldn't make it,
Yeah.
like, oh well, I got a
Oh,
sub. You better
wow.
show up.
Sorry.
So, all right. Well, you guys take it away.
Yeah. So we got somebody joining us who knows what service really means. An Army veteran and Hope Mills Hope Mills Commissioner candidate, Miss Cynthia Hamilton. So welcome to the show, Miss Cynthia.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cynthia's
Nice to be
career spans from aircraft inspection to financial management and human resources, including overseas at Fort Bragg.
She's bringing the same discipline and attention to detail to the Hope Mills community. And tonight we'll dig in to see what her vision is for leadership, accountability, and basically everything.
Yep. Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to learn about how your experiences shape your campaign for the Hope Mills Board of Commissioners.
I'll jump in with the first question,
Okay.
Cynthia. How will you being a veteran and with your HR background, how will that translate to service to the people of Hope Mills?
One of the things that I would really like to do, especially with my service, with my technical experience, I'm used to making decisions immediately, very important decisions, and they have to be the right decisions when I make them. As far as the HR experience, we get into a lot of things with personnel. We didn't really get into budget. That was with my financial management division experience. But with the HR part, again, we actually worked with financial management division for the manning part of the organization to create manning documents and help maintain them. And that would determine how many employees a department was entitled to hire.
Okay.
But they would put them on their manning document, and that way, that was the only amount of people that they were entitled to hire. And they really couldn't add any more. Now you could put more people on, you just couldn't budget for them.
Yeah.
So that would show how many people that they were authorized to have in their department. They really couldn't hire any more, and you had to maintain it. As people would leave, you would have to remove them. So it's a good thing to have. That way, you don't get excess hiring of individuals in your
Or spending.
department. Right, spending money,
Yeah,
because it's not just the salary; it's all the benefits that go with
Yeah.
it. That's very expensive when you bring all these people on board, and it helps them maintain, and so they don't over spend. They don't hire more people than what they're required to. The only people they're required to have in their departments.
Mhm.
So that worked out pretty
Okay,
well.
now you bring up human resources, so I've got to the big elephant in the room. Do you agree with the board's decision 3-2 to vote to censure Commissioner Elise Craven on October 6th, and especially after they hired attorney Mac McCarley to investigate, and his report said, more likely than not, but there's no concrete proof that a racist remark was made. How much weight should you put in that and the standard when deciding discipline, and do they owe her an apology?
I believe they owe her an apology. There was absolutely no proof. I sat in on that meeting, and when he got up and spoke, he never once mentioned that he had any concrete proof saying that she was guilty or not guilty. He said more likely than not, and that could mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Um,
More likely than
more likely
that's,
than not.
Yeah,
Right.
that's so soft.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, it didn't say she was guilty, and it didn't say she was guilty. And that was, in my opinion, that was what he assumed had happened,
Well,
based on.
So who in the room has actually listened or was at the? So I live streamed it. Were you in the room?
I was.
Okay.
Yes.
So from my recollection, the attorney says the two men's stories lined up with no deviation at all, but Ms. Craver and her friends had discrepancy in their recollections, and that's why he deferred to saying that something probably could have been said, but there is no concrete evidence because it is he said, she said.
I don't remember him saying there were discrepancies. I remember him going into the motive part of it. And he said the motive part was that she was running for election and she didn't want to be embarrassed.
Right.
And that
But that
Miss
the men
Farley,
did not have
right,
motivation.
Right. And that Miss Farley was her friend and wanted to back her friend up.
Sure.
Now, the only motivation for the other party was they refused to fund him for the building that he was taking care of. And they thought that was retribution for
okay,
that.
so it was retaliatory because he didn't get a county.
He didn't get what he wanted.
What was he seeking?
I believe it was money to fund something in his building. I'm not quite sure about that. I'd have to look that back up. But he was after something and he was denied that, and it was retaliatory. That's what they're assuming as well. So it was a lot of assumptions from what I was seeing.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no proof, and I don't believe that she should have been censored before it was investigated. We just threw away $450 an hour plus gasoline for nothing, absolutely nothing.
So what due process steps should come before a censure? Notice of change, chance to respond, outside counsel, public versus closed session. What steps do you think were followed and which ones were missing?
Well, it should have been investigated first. There shouldn't have been a censure. I know they have their closed sessions where and of course we don't know what's going on in the closed sessions. We're not entitled to that, especially when it's personnel. I think, in my opinion, I think she was ganged up on a little bit. From what I saw at the meeting, she came out of the meeting and sat down because they kept going in one at a time. But I do believe it should have been investigated and come to some kind of a conclusion within the organization, like they have in the past, before she was censured. I think that could have been accomplished with the people that they have on board, and that's what their job is.
So we have some comments also. Welcome to our live viewers. I think we have a lot of very interested Hope Mills people watching you tonight. So
We probably, I'm sure we do. Yes.
I just wanted to say that there was a comment, quote, more likely than not is not in the Constitution.
It's not.
So
It's not,
I can appreciate that comment. Thank you, Ms. Monica. So Laura?
That's the truth. I was going to
yeah,
say, I don't remember seeing that. So now you're currently on the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
I am, yes.
Okay. Are you staying, if you get elected, will you stay on that board or will you come
I
down?
would have to resign.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So how did that prepare you and what did you learn that would roll over into being a county commissioner?
There wasn't a lot. I was only there for 2 sessions. The first one I had to recuse myself because it was for the VFW sign. And I'm an active member, or I'm a member of the lifetime member of the VFW post 10630. So I couldn't vote on that. So I had to recuse
Which post
myself.
is that? Because there's
That's the one on Davis Street.
Is that behind the main street?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
back
all right.
in the dead end back there by
Yeah.
the church. Yeah. Nobody knows where it's at.
No, yeah. I had to
The
go back there
sign's
one
not
time
this
and find it.
big.
And it was fun. I'm like,
Yeah.
am I going
is-
to the right
yeah.
place?
Yeah.
Well, the sign that they voted to approve is only about this big, so it's really hard to, unless you know where it's
Yeah.
at, you would never find it. The second one was for the J.T. Robinson Center. They wanted to turn it, part of it into a child care center, and that was the only thing that I was there for. And it was basically about, is it a good place to have it? Is it going to affect the community? Is there, my questions are, is there enough parking places for it? And so we voted to approve that. So it really didn't prepare me, because the Board of Adjustment is more or less about zoning.
Yeah.
And so it really didn't prepare me for that. I mean, there's a lot to zoning. There's a lot of different ways to zone property. So I was only there for 2 sessions, and they've never called us back. So
Okay.
Now, throughout your campaign, you have stressed cutting unnecessary spending and concerns during higher taxes in your City View Art candidate profile questionnaire. Specifically, what are unnecessary spendings? Which exact line items would you cut? And what are the taxes covering? How much would have been an appropriate tax raise?
well, the
So many questions all in one. I
It's-
apologize.
it's okay.
Let's start-
I'm
let's
trying
start
to write
with
them
the
down
first
as fast
one.
as you're
Okay.
saying them, Laura.
Which
Tell
one?
me specifically what unnecessary spending looks like and what line items you would cut.
we would have to go through the budget line by line, and they did that in their budget meetings. But when they did the final budget, I don't believe they did that. Some of the things that I brought up in one of the meetings were they wanted to put another marquee on the lake. They already have 2. I noticed that they have they're buying high-end Dodge Ram pickup trucks, and they had another one on there. I didn't think that was necessary.
What are the trucks used for?
Well, Parks and Rec use them. I don't know if they haul anything or not. I don't monitor Parks and Recreation, but they have some really high-end vehicles there. Some of the other things that I had brought up was old mill days. They didn't budget for it, and that is a Hope Mills tradition. That's what the founding fathers of Hope Mills has done over the years. So they actually cut that out. I brought it up, and now the Police Foundation, Debbie that runs the flower shop in Hope Mills, she's the one that sponsors that. She does a real good job. I was down there this Saturday for that. So
how much money did they give the Old Mill Day?
Well, I think every committee is budgeted for around $5,000.
Okay.
I don't know if that covers everything. The one that I went to prior to that, they had at the rec center, and they had tablecloths, they had flowers and decorations, they had a cake and some sandwiches and things. And some of the ladies that were actually pioneers in Hope Mills with the mill and things spoke a little bit about what had happened during that time period. And I actually walked out with one of the ladies, and they're so interesting. They had so much to tell about the town back in the days when they actually had mills and things. And so I think that they should actually keep that just because it's a tradition.
So-
I don't know if it's true or not, but an anonymous participant said the Police Foundation does Mills Days,
They do
and
that
it's
now.
not a tax, so it's not tax dollars. So did they cancel it, or did they just? The Police
just-
Foundation takes care of it.
The Police Foundation takes care of it. They never just funded it through the HPC. They just didn't budget
Well,
for
and
it.
I will say I did look for the event to put it on my calendar, and it was not on the Town of Hope Mills website. The only way I found Old Mills Day was to go to Distinctly Fayetteville, which is our convention and visitors bureau,
Yeah.
and it was on their website. So if the town didn't give them any money, then they wouldn't be on their calendar.
Well,
Although
They
I
should-
think it's
they should
I
still
think I
be.
feel like it's a community calendar. It should still be
Yeah,
on there,
I
whether
agree.
they're sponsoring it or not.
It
but
was. They advertised it, I think, on the Town of
So,
Hope Mills page.
what
but
do we
not-
learn at Old Mills Days? What's the point?
Well, it's just a tradition, and it's about what basically showing what had happened with. They bring in pictures and things of the old mills.
Okay.
It's not an educational thing. It's just a tradition honoring the people that actually started the town. Basically, is what it is. So
When did the town start? I mean, are any of
Oh,
those
I-
guys still around?
some of the older ladies, I think, still
Okay.
are.
All right. Are we talking like post Civil War type stuff? I mean,
Well,
how far back are
I
we
don't
going?
know the dates, but
You know.
the further down you go on the lake, there's still, I believe, some of the older fixtures from the some of the people tell me that have kayaks and go down that area, that they still have some of the old. Now, Heritage Park has a lot of the old replicas down there,
Okay.
the park that nobody goes to. So I don't know if they're going to, if they do Heritage Park 2, if they have the funds to do that. I don't know if there's going to be more further downstream or not. So, but it's quite a tradition, or it used to be anyway, in town.
Okay, so now they had a tax rate increase
Yes.
in Hope Mills, and you say it's too much.
It is. In fact,
Why?
Peter and I were just talking about that today. One of our people in town, and I'll read you what he wrote from the internet. The town made up the $2 million sales tax loss, plus they made another $3.6 million with our property tax increase. So why would we do an increase if we've already made up the $2 million? What is that money? What are we gonna do with that money? Is our question.
How was it made up when you say they made it up?
Well, whenever they increased our property tax, that brought it up to the $3.6 million. And a lot of that, again, I feel is unnecessary spending, and that's why I believe that the budget should be gone through line by line and see exactly where we're at, what we can reduce, what we can cut. The mayor said that they're down to bare bones, but the training went from 4,000 to 30,000.
What training specifically?
We talked about that. The training that they attend, the conferences that they attend.
Who's they?
The staff. Every department has their own travel and training budget. Administration and government has the highest budgeted training for the whole town. And one of the meetings I actually spoke about that, because in my HR work for the federal government, it got to the point with the funding and the budget that they would only send one person to training. We would go up to Maryland for training to headquarters. We would bring back all the material and share it with, we'd have a meeting and share it with everybody in the office.
There's no way the federal government is that proficient.
Oh, we did. Well, I know what you mean, but we did. And it finally got to the point where they quit letting anybody go, and we did everything by Zoom. So, and I do know that they have a lot of Zoom classes out there for everybody. And I really believe that I don't see the point of sending the whole staff. I just don't. That's kind of too much.
Well, that's a hike. I mean, you said from what to 30,000?
From 4,000 to around $30,000 just for two departments. And then when I did a public records request, and this is kind of a touchy subject, I got some of the information back, and some of the expenses I think were a little too much for our town.
Like, for example,
3 individuals flew and paid $250 extra just to sit together on the airplane. Granted, there's nothing illegal about it, but I feel that it's kind of a waste of our taxpayers' money to do that.
Okay, and this is what I was trying to discuss with you earlier when we kind of did a just introduction to how this was going to go this evening. How does this compare to other municipalities? Because a lot of what I'm hearing is opinion. You just don't feel. You don't. But what the city of Fayetteville spend on this kind of stuff?
Well, I don't know if I'm just talking about what they're doing in this town. I'm not comparing it to any other towns. I'm just stating what the taxpayers are having to pay for. Was that necessary? They get to Florida, they rent a Toyota 4Runner for over $1,400, then they Uber. And I just feel it's unnecessary, and so the other individuals in town feel that that's unnecessary spending. We have a fleet of vehicles behind Town Hall. We have 2 SUVs that sit there and hardly ever move. We have a van that sits there and never moves. And the town manager was, when they were discussing it on one of the meetings, said, "What departments are we going to cripple by using a town vehicle?" I don't know that they would cripple anybody when they have one of the departments when they have
department would be disabled from providing services. So, listen, Mrs. Hamilton, Pete, you're asking for people's votes. So I'm going to lean into you a little bit. I need to know that you're able to make factual decisions if you were to get the seat. And a lot of what I'm hearing is opinion. You don't feel and this and that. So, where can you go? Just humor me. where could you go to find out the facts of this stuff? And would you be willing to put it on a peer study and say, well, Hope Mills spends this, Spring Lake does that. Is this emotional, I don't like it, or is this factual, this is too much?
Well,
Because
we could do
Can
that.
I add to that for just a second? Because sometimes we feel something, but it's industry standard.
Mhm.
So I don't think that our city council members should fly first class. Me personally, but there's pictures of some of our city council members flying first class.
Well, they do get, but they get a per diem. Well, they get annual, I think, $7,500 to spend for travel.
Right.
See,
And I think that's what we're talking about.
Well,
for the Hope Mills.
So they can
but they also get the per diem and everything
Mhm.
once they get to their location. But we're not talking about a town like Fayetteville
Mhm.
or Spring Lake. We have 10 square miles. We have 18,000 people. We don't have a huge metropolis where we have all that money coming in. We don't have a transit system.
Mhm.
We don't have all of the things that.
what's the total budget for Hope Mills right now?
22 million.
That, I
I'm
was going to
sorry.
say
I
that's
was 22,000. Holy
yeah,
smokes.
okay. So
22 million.
So I agree with you. In comparison, you're less than 10% of City of Fayetteville's budget. We're closer to 350,
Mhm.
60 million here. So I'm with you that we shouldn't be spending in Hope Mills the same thing
Exactly.
that Fayetteville does. However,
Percentage wise, though, how do the
there has to
percentages
be
match up?
there has to be a metric where you can determine and say you can level it and peer it and say, well, is this outrageous or is this just micromanaging and
But is it necessary?
so why would they go to this
Well,
this
it's not
thing down in
necessary
Florida?
that I buy Velveeta shells and cheese. I could buy, Harris Teeter shells and cheese. So, but I want to.
I like the packet more than
but
the powder
you
myself.
budget for you. We're
Yeah.
talking about they're using the people's tax money. It's everybody's money.
Okay.
Their money included, except the ones that don't live in Hope Mills. So,
So you're allowed to buy your shells and cheese if you're buying it,
Okay.
but if you're using taxpayer money, you got to buy the Harris
Mhm.
Teeter brand.
that's right.
And what controls are in place to so did anybody break any rules with your opinion that they spent too much money? Did
But
anybody break a
Is-
HR
is-
rule?
But
or?
is that the point, though? I mean,
Absolutely. Look, okay, so I've been around this political stuff. Okay,
A little bit.
I've
A
heard
little
you've
bit.
been around.
So yeah, thanks a lot. So allegedly,
She said
yeah,
it,
she
not
said
me.
it, not me.
It wasn't me.
You were
It wasn't
going
me.
there. I
It
know,
wasn't
yeah.
me. I didn't
Given
say it
enough
this time.
you'd be right there. So
I'm not saying that.
I've been around long enough to know about economic development and needing
Okay.
to kind of train up your staff. I saw it personally on the Human Relations Commission. I saw an assistant get hired, and they started sending her to all kinds of trainings and all. And now she has an actual better position within the city because she's more knowledgeable. So I believe in developing people, and as an HR background, I think you can agree with that.
Yes.
But I do believe that the earmark of a good elected is knowing what you don't know and being able to send people for training and be willing to do this, because what's the worst that
Well,
can happen?
I didn't say that we couldn't send people to training. I'm just saying that we need to cut a little bit where we can.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, the taxes are high. People are wanting to sell their houses and leave because they can't afford the taxes.
Mhm.
So why aren't we taking care?
Well-
Why aren't we taking care of the citizens? If we have vehicles that the town staff can use to go to training, the taxpayers are only paying for the gasoline for those vehicles.
So let's back up just a moment, because my realtor heart just kicked in. So who do you know that sold their house because they couldn't afford the taxes?
I know people that are
How many?
are saying to sell their house.
Okay.
I don't
Can
know.
And
you
there's
give
people
them-
saying they're going to move
Can you
out
give
of
them my phone
country.
number? Because I'll be happy to list their houses. Okay, because listen, the county just told you and we, the citizens, that your house is worth way more than it used to be.
Mhm.
And the problem with that valuation is that it caught the tail end of the Corona market.
Yeah.
So all that, we only revalue every 8 years. Now, county commission's trying to change that to reduce it so that next time the changes won't be so severe. Okay, because those valuations follow the market.
They do.
So anybody watching, if you're trying to move out of Hope Mills,
Let Peter
Well-
know.
Pappas Realty will take care of your needs.
But
So
the thing is, with included with that thing,
Mm-hmm.
something else that I was working on is the Parks and Recreation. And I'm not knocking Parks and Recreation. Recreation is wonderful for the youth. I believe in that, and I do. But they're taxing us twice for Parks and Recreation. Once on our vehicle tax and once on our property tax. So when they did the revaluation on our homes, and our homes, the value of our homes increased, so did the price that we have to pay to Parks and Recreation on our property tax.
Mhm.
We're still having to pay 5 cents to every $100 on the new valuation.
So Hope Mills
which
breaks it out like town tax, and then
we
there's
have
a separate line.
we pay town tax, we pay county tax, and included with that is Parks and Recreation tax on our property.
But it's not
tax.
a separate line.
It is a separate line.
Is it?
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
Okay.
And that's how I saw that. And I did find out, because I went round and round with the town attorney on that, because the general statute says that the people should be able to vote on that.
Mhm.
And things kind of got twisted a little bit, and
Vote on what? I'm sorry.
on whether or not that the people should be able to vote whether they pay that Parks and Recreation property tax on their property tax.
Why?
Oh.
Why would they?
It's in the general statute. There's a list of items that can be put on your property tax.
Mhm.
And if you really have to read the general statute to get into it and what it says, and the words were kind of twisted and turned around a little bit, and it finally came down to the UNC School of Government said, no, the people are not entitled to vote on that. So I called and talked to the man at UNC School of Government, and he told me that wasn't true, that there should have been a public hearing.
Mhm.
And let the people voice their opinion.
When was this tax actually added? And was
Uh,
there
it-
a public hearing? Maybe there was.
There wasn't a public hearing, and it's been quite a while ago. I don't know exactly. I don't know the date, but I know
within the last 5 years.
it's been longer than that.
Okay.
Now, Parks and Recreation used to be part of Fayetteville, the county, but then they broke away from the county and they did their own separate thing.
Mhm.
So when I asked about it, I was told, no, you need to go to the county. It's a county thing. So I went to the county and they said, no, that's
Mhm.
not true. We collect all the money and then we distribute it down to the municipalities. So they collect all that tax and send it down. So, but I was told in Hope Mills that was the county initiated that tax.
So I feel like we're splitting hairs here, because if Parks and Rec really belongs to the town of Hope Mills,
It does.
then if they don't have it as a separate line item on our tax bill, aren't they just going to increase their budget and pay it out of there?
course.
What does it matter how it gets taxed? Especially if it's not a new tax, it's not something.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people have the right to vote. If they hold a public hearing, they can put that on the ballot.
Mhm.
I was told by our town attorney that the people did not have the right to vote, and he got that from the UNC School of Government. But when I called and talked to Mr. McLaughlin at the UNC School of Government, he told me that wasn't true, that they should have held a public hearing.
But we're not even sure how long ago it was added. So how do we not know that there was a public hearing held for it 20 years ago?
They have a year, I forget, 1970 something. I forget what it is now. I've got like 13 pages of emails with that.
Okay.
Back and forth.
I mean, Miss Hamilton,
So-
I want the receipts. See, I don't like speaking in hyperbole or conjecture. I don't want to think or hear that something happened somewhere to somebody somehow. I want
But I got the
receipts.
facts.
Okay.
I got the facts from the town attorney and UNC School of Government, and that's what I was looking for,
Okay.
and that's what I was told, and that's all I can go on.
Okay. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, be nice to each other a little bit.
They
Come
get
on now. We're all friends
they get
here.
riled up.
Yeah, we're all listen.
I'm not going to the chat.
Peter told me we're going to fight
I-
tonight.
Yeah.
So.
No, I told you we're not going to super take it easy on you. But the thing about it is, and I spoke to a dear friend of mine that she's a community watch organizer in Fayetteville, and we had a discussion about a month ago now. And I said, I wish politics was like the way y'all look at sports teams. Put on your jersey, red, blue. Have the wings, eat the whatever, and when you're done, your team loses.
It's
just
okay.
get on with life.
Yeah.
So
we gotta post.
But
that's
all
not the way it
all
works.
I'm-
What?
That's not the way it works. If we
Well,
lose,
no,
we've got
but
to
I mean,
post
why-
on Facebook what a
Yeah.
horrible
Yeah.
other team that you
Yeah,
guys
that's
voted
right.
wrong.
They
all that
cheated,
stuff. They
you know.
cheated. Yeah, whatever. I have a question.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, because it's been referenced in the chat a couple
Okay.
times, something about a police officer at the end of your street, or you requesting something. I have no idea what they're talking
Do you
about.
have good-looking cops? You keep calling.
I was going to say, are
Oh,
they
no.
single? I have a friend that's
No,
single. So
I know who
I'm
started.
not,
I
but-
know who started that, and
more than one person has referenced it,
Oh,
and I don't
okay.
know what they're talking about. So
Well,
I would
there,
like to
there
know.
was for right now where I live. Before I got on, well, I've been on the board of directors in my HOA, trying to clean up the area with the shooting and the four-wheelers. So when the four-wheelers were out there, there was 40 or 50 of them coming down to the end of the street, just raising crap all over the place, screaming and hollering, running, going through my yard, doing wheelies in the street. ATVs are not, they're just not allowed. UTVs are allowed with basically. So I would call the police to come down because my neighbors were calling me. And then
So they're calling you because you're the president of the homeowners
I'm not the
association.
president, but I'm on the board of directors.
Okay, so you're on the board.
So they're calling me about that. Have you called the police? No, I haven't. So I called the police. Then the shooting started. We had a guy right below my house. It was Halloween. There were kids out trick-or-treating. He's shooting. And so I call the police. So then we get into it with the police about whether it's county or town, and that's beside the point. But these are the issues that I would call them on. I finally went to the media with it. The chief of police got in touch with me. We put a flock camera out there in the area, which has kind of helped a lot. We put barricades up. We did the Jersey barriers. They moved. We spent, I forget how much money for that, $2,500, $3,000.
What's the Jersey barrier? Is that the concrete thing?
It's concrete
Okay.
with rebar in it. So they moved them. They took cargo straps and trucks and moved the barriers.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
So I just want to. We don't have to get your house address so I can go egg it later. But I just want to know, like, what part of Hope Mills do you live in? Like,
West Hampton.
I don't know where that is. I know
It's
Rockfish
off
Road.
Off
And I know.
Camden Road.
Okay.
It's off
Okay.
Camden.
Hey,
I
Mr.
just-
Realtor,
okay.
I even knew that.
Look, good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Hope Mills, my extent was the sub shop and back.
Yeah.
Usually.
But
So,
but anyway, we
is it
we
more
solved that problem.
rural out there?
Well, behind my houses, there's like
Okay.
74 acres that was annexed into Hope Mills that belonged to the county. So it's a huge open area, and they think that that's open game,
Sure.
a recreation area. But there's signs posted, and they finally put up another barrier with iron rebar and encased it in cement. So unless they have a tank, they're not going to move that.
Okay.
But the police still come out because they've thrown. It's just it's still a mess sometimes out there. So.
You just
And
don't
I
like
will
kids?
say-
I mean, is that what it is?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I
I mean, is it
I
just-
love kids, but when I'm not going to babysit other people's kids when
Okay.
they're destroying property down there, and it's $4,000 that the
Well, 'cause
taxpayers are going to pay.
When
for.
I was growing up, I grew up in Rayconda, and me and my brother were on the lake on our paddle boats, and we had those
Mhm.
bull horns from Radio Shack
Yep.
with the music, and somebody called the sheriff on us
Oh,
at
yeah.
like 4:00 in the afternoon for making noise.
Yep.
So.
But I will say that having spoken to Ken Braden, and he says when people complain and complain and complain, he said the best thing that you can do is get it taken care of from the police, and so the police can be out doing other things. And it sounds like the
Exactly.
police chief did a good job.
He
got
did.
the stuff taken care of.
We
so.
worked together and we got that
Kudos
done. In
to the
fact,
police
they're,
chief.
exactly. And they're coming out next week. Public Works is going to come out because they're still accessing the area. They're going to cut logs and secure them in
So,
place out there. So
Are you?
they're working with
We
me
just
on
got
that.
in the chat. It's got a large easement back there. Is that true? Is it a big easement for
No.
utility or something
No.
behind your house?
No,
Okay.
there's nothing back there. And that's
I'm trying to not let you be portrayed as the grumpy,
Oh,
like I'm
no.
that many years old, get off my lawn.
There-
kind of
there-
person,
and I'm not either. And like I said, it's the
Is all
neighbors.
your furniture covered in plastic?
Nah. Yeah, no.
No,
Just joking.
no, actually, my dog and my cats are all over my furniture. So,
Okay.
so I'm not OCD or anything, but no, but we've taken care of it only because I think I went to the media with it because I got tired of the shooting, and they would shoot right below my house, and the police would come out, and of course I don't expect them to walk down there in the dark. When these guys know the area, they have guns, and I don't want anybody to get hurt out there, and I've told them that several times. So I do care about law enforcement, and they've been great trying to help us out there, and I do appreciate them. In fact, I spoke highly of them at the budget as far as budgeting for the police department because they've been awesome, them and the fire department. I had kids setting off firecrackers and set the back of my property on fire and almost took the neighborhood, and the fire department come
Okay.
out. So
I'm not going to nickname you Karen. I'm not.
please
I'm
don't.
not going to do it. And there is a Karen on the chat, and we miss you. She's been on here already. Karen
I know
Sarenson.
who,
she's
yes,
been
I
on
know,
here.
I know who I know Karen. I know
so
Karen.
sorry to disparage your name again, Miss Sarenson, but anyway, so
I mean, for me, reeling it back around to, it sounds like what your goal would be in the next 2 to 4 years is really to bring a higher level of fiscal responsibility. That sounds like to me, am I right? Is that your
yes,
path?
and
kind of your
accountability.
passion?
Yes, the town really has gone downhill as far as I went down around one of the streets and it looks like a junkyard down there, and the houses are dilapidated, and the town is so I went to code enforcement, and they have taken care of it. But we just need the town to actually.
But part of being in a town is community awareness.
Right,
so while
exactly.
you said you complained about a dilapidated building and they took care of it, so they are doing somewhat of a good job because they took care of something that you complained about.
Right, but this has been going on for a long time. And a lot of the citizens are talking about the drains are plugged up, so then they come out and took care of the drains. But my thing is, why do the citizens have to say something for them to come out and do their job?
Well, that's part of being a community, because
Exactly.
I can't be as the Parks and Rec person or the planning person or the dilapidated building person. I can't be everywhere.
Oh no!
But you are over here and you see this and you're like, oh, hey, Laura, there's an issue.
Right.
I take care of it when you alert me, because I only see Jim's issue over there. I didn't.
Oh, I
oops,
get
I
what you're
And
missed
Jim
saying.
has got some issues.
Yes, he
I've
does.
cleaned my own drains before because
Right.
they needed to be done, and I don't
So
have
that's
I don't have
part
a
of
problem.
being in a community.
Exactly, and I don't have a problem doing that. And accountability is one thing, but again, back to the money situation, we need to make things affordable for people in our town. We do. I mean, I've been in stores in the holidays where people are. One lady was she took her stuff and put it back on the shelf, and I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I can't afford it."
Well, that's not the government's job, though.
Well, it's not, but still, if the taxes are too high, and
Okay, specific. You own your own home, yes?
I do.
Okay. Dollar amount per month. How much did your tax bill go up?
It went up over $800
For the
A
year.
month?
No, for the total. So I didn't figure it out for the month, but it went up over $800
For the year.
for the year. Yes.
So your increase was
80 bucks.
80
Yeah,
bucks
about
a month.
About yes.
Okay.
But it all comes down to people managing their money, and I get that, but not everybody can do that. People just can't. Some of them can't. And then you look at this, like you were talking, single mother, where you've got two
Or
or
an
three.
older person on
Exactly.
social services.
Yeah.
See, I wanted to say what it took to a representative was at a certain age, your tax rate get locked in. Because you're never going to let the senior citizens not pay taxes because they're the primary homeowners.
Yep.
However, after a certain age, it should be locked in because you're on a set income.
Exactly.
So if your tax rate goes up around, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
you're not gonna up my Social Security to the same degree. you
Right.
up my-
Right.
So if
exactly.
we lock them in at a certain rate, and then when you sell your house, all bets are off.
Yeah.
But at least to take care of the senior citizens that are on a just an idea.
Isn't Florida kind of flirting with getting rid of property taxes altogether?
I don't know that they
I
have
saw a
property
story.
tax.
about
I thought
I don't
getting
think
rid
they
of
do.
it. But my question is, well, how are they going to offset that? Because traditional government, United States, you get property taxes for your health, safety, and welfare, your cops, your fire, your schools.
well, then stop spending it on all of these other projects.
There are exemptions as well. I mean, people that make a certain amount of money are entitled to exemptions on their tax bills. So, and that helps senior citizens that maybe make $1,500 a month on Social Security. They have their own home, and they still have, their utilities and their insurance and their car and all those other expenses. So it does help them.
So, you running for Hope Mills Commissioner, besides your HR background, what else can you bring to the office that would be beneficial for the citizens of Hope Mills to know about?
The budgeting experience. When I was in Germany, I had I worked financial management division, and I assisted the manager with the budgets every year, and that's a big job when you're in a military community, when you got all these different facilities there.
Sure.
So, and that's where again the manning documents, and I got into a lot of HR because I also took care of personnel actions and things. But I did a whole lot of things in financial management division that would help me prepare for this role.
Okay. Y'all?
Yep.
I'm good.
Are we satisfied?
I'm satisfied.
Are we satisfied?
Does
Okay.
anybody in the chat have any real quick last minute questions that are not mean?
And anybody, Bueller? First.
Do you have
class?
how
Does anybody get a hold of you?
how does anybody get a
Oh.
hold of you?
I can give you my phone number.
What if they want to donate money to your campaign?
Well, they can call me, and I can give them.
Okay, what's your phone number?
Okay, I'm in El Paso. I spent 2 years in El Paso
Go
when I
ahead.
left Germany.
I'll type it in. What's the
It is
number?
915-929-2081.
Okay. See, I can do that now. See, look at me, guys.
And I give you my
Impressive.
my email address. I can give it to you. It's kind of a German thing.
German things. I don't know anything
It's
about that.
Blumenfrau, BLUMENFRAU at MSN.com. That
He's
means,
still at BL.
Blumenfrau.
yes,
Okay.
at MSN.com. That means flower lady in German.
MSN.com.
Yeah.
Wow, who's on MSN anymore?
Well, that
They're
was a
still
long
around?
time
I
ago.
was gonna
Yes.
say, okay.
Okay, look,
Well-
we're doing the age thing again. For you.
So,
Yeah.
Sorry. So, look, I want to say thank you to my on-air cabinet members, Mrs. Laura Mussler and Pastor Josh.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you, and especially to Miss Cynthia Hamilton. Thanks for being a good sport this evening.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
I
To
appreciate
everybody
I hope we
watching.
weren't too rough on
it.
you.
No, you were fine.
There's always
I
next
can, I
time.
can handle it.
I'll try harder next time.
To everybody watching, I hope you'll do us a favor this
I'll
week.
save
Take
up
time
for
to
you
visit
guys.
one of our commercial sponsors. Let them know you heard their message right here on the cabinet. If you do somehow miss an episode of our top-rated show,
Top rated.
you can find us on your favorite podcast broadcaster, Apple, Spotify, Google. Come on, guys.
Everywhere.
Look for us online at thecarolinacabinet.com. You can find all our videos and links. Thanks again for tuning in this evening. We are
The
Carolina
Cabinet.
Cabinet.